Well, this is getting messy real early, isn't it? So we opened up with, oh, I can't read his name there. Leganes, the Spanish cavalry that was in charge. He pulled out of charge. He's got this poor guy jumped up the hill. He's now formation broken. He couldn't get the Cardinal Infante active. He ended up with Ferdinand active, which is totally useless. So he didn't get any advantage on continuations or anything like that. But he did manage to move forward and partially rally a unit. And then we went to the Swedes, and they took their cav down here. Who is that? Schwaletsky. Now, Schwaletsky ran off the map. He got intercepted by one of Gallus's cav. Bad odds, -2, but ends up chasing him off the map, which has just kind of left this leaderless and in a horrible position with units still in column that I couldn't take out of column because the leader didn't make it there. See where that ends up going. But he did sacrifice a nice cuirassier unit for that loss. So, well, we'll see. Alright, I don't know where we are right now. Kratz's command just surged forward under charge. Now, that caused some weird things like striking forward here. I'm looking for my Spanish... the Spanish commander was flung back, but even more impressive, that was by this unit, even more impressive, this guy charged into one of those heavy infantry and drove it off the hill. Now, the odds of that were very low. I think I was at -3. I rolled an 8. 9 would have made it perhaps a little worse. Not really. It would have made it worse for the cav, which would have had to go up forward. We also have cav that got stopped here by a countercharge. Guys who went up the hill and fell back down. Just this mess, but basically I'm trying to protect this command from the guys on the hill, and I was forced to charge that infantry as well. I'm going to make a quick see if I have a continuation, and I do not. So I don't know where we're going to end up after that. But, you know, when you start fighting with cav on the hills, they all end up formation broken. If they are in open order, they drop to formation broken on their first attack. And, well, if they're not in open order, they're going to get formation shaken walking up the hill, and then the attack's going to throw them into formation broken. So it just ends up like really paralyzing the cav there. You see the Horn's infantry beginning to cross there and starting to try to form up. We got open orders here. We got the column units here that are in broken formation now. This one's still got to convert. I think I'll try to get him across this river. He's not moving in the right direction. He swung up this way. He should have moved this way first and then there. If he goes here, he's not going to be really in the right position at all, which means I have to figure out what to do with these guys. Just an ugly, ugly combination. I don't want to assault this hill without, you know, loosening things up. Now, the order of play is important here. I would have loved to have taken this cav and started marching it this way if these guys had committed across, and then I could bring the infantry up. But right now this is more important, had to be dealt with, and that's leaving things kind of exposed here. Now, granted, the Catholics aren't going to be able to swing into play real quick. Nothing moves too fast in this. The cav at 8 hexes can go a nice clip, but it has to pay for these slopes and everything. And then it's still in open order, so yeah, not the best of circumstances. But I would like to be able to form up and actually fight in the battle that I'm designed to fight, but I gotta break my way through that hill, I think. And as we push into turn 3 at this point, well, to begin with, our leader who ran off the map, Schwaletsky, he's back. He survived, or figured out, well, I can't stop my guys. I'm turning around. I'm going back, commanding my troops. No big help there, really. He'd be, whatever replaced him would be as good as he is. But, you know, it's important to keep track of these things. Piccolomini's beginning to rally that unit that ran away. The Cardinal Infante went up to the cav and said, "Hey, I should rally you guys. Now I'll just sit here and have a smoke." Frederick got the rest of the activations. All the artillery fired. We got some morale effect down here, a formation hit over there. Not a lot, but some harassment. It's just, at this distance, the artillery is not terribly effective. Mainly it's good at breaking up an attack, which it's kind of doing a little bit here, slowing things down. Very slowly, the Catholics are pulling their right-wing cav downward, but they can only go one hex a turn until they get out of received charge, and man, they haven't had any luck with that recently. But they should be a serious problem once they're down. Actually, that's an infantry formation. It's not even a cav formation, so it doesn't get the advantage on continuations. I'm going to remember that. I'm always forgetting that. All right, onward. Okay, I couldn't keep Kratz's command from... I couldn't get it out of the charge, and it ended up charging up the hill in some cases towards the nearest units. Broke one of these infantry up on the hill. Took out a cav and the Cardinal Infante over here. Some of them went charging up here. That's a real hedgehog there, as opposed to in a kind of open order or anything. This guy failed his morale. That's weakening the defenses up on the hill here, meaning that the Swedes are going to have a chance to take that. Now, then I managed to finally slip into receive charge and start trying to reform some of these units. But one guy who was up here, he chased the Cardinal Infante's cav. He just disappeared from the overwhelming firepower of the Spanish units there. This guy seems to be surviving pretty well, but oh boy, what a mess. Oh my. So the Spaniards try to bring their cav, they bring it up to or down to receive charge in order to kind of reform the units. There was kind of a choice there which way I wanted to go, there or to a charge. My units would have been charging across the river though, got formation shaken. I would certainly break up some of Kratz's cavalry here, and that would be kind of nice, but I don't know. It probably just as good in this circumstance. I had a couple of units to reform though, and that was sort of the decision point there. And if Kratz pulls back, then I can storm up this hill and be in a better position to defend these guys. Then moving over to the Swedes, not Horn, but I don't know, Witzman or something like that, jumps himself into charge to try to take advantage of this situation with a hedgehog here. Well, it doesn't go well. First of all, this unit couldn't do an advancing fire that it wanted against this morale-shaken unit, so it repositioned itself a little bit, hoping to get a continuation, which it didn't get. Got this column moving up here. That's going to be a danger. That's got to get out of column, or it'll just march right up into the enemy. That, I think, is an issue with the game system. There should be an anti-suicide clause for columns as well as other units, and I may just take that into play. And then I've got these poor suckers back here that I had to rally. Horn's going to start doing that job, and he moves it out of formation broken. Why are these? Oh, these were in column. They have a hard job to get themselves out of that. Now they come on the board in column, and that's a real pain, and it's going to take a while for them to set up. But I wanted to storm the Albuck because I have this advantage right now with the Cav having hit already. But as you can see, the one unit marched up and it took some serious losses. 2 hits there from Leslie's unit. The Hedgehog, of course, can't fire. Would have been better to wait a turn or something, played around some more, but then these might have come out of Hedgehog. Who knows? Of course, that coming out of Hedgehog in front of the enemy is not pleasant either. So this is just turning into kind of a mess right in this area. We'll see what else happens. All right, finishing up a few of the units down here on the south, I guess. Went over to Gallus and he kind of rallied his forces, but one of them, well, reformed them, but one of them was sitting next to this guy. He ended up attacking him up on the hill, and, well, he's over in the dead pile now, and that guy went and chased him down and finished him off. Again, the chaos of a cav battle going on here with things flying one way or another. These guys over here ended up doing also make ready, getting the units out of column, preparing themselves. They're going to slip around the back there if things aren't handled carefully. Now here's the weird thing. I really wanted these to be deployed up here to face that cav up there, but I've been kind of moving them this way just because, well, they keep moving. This is moving so slowly. If they can get up here, they're much more potent, and that, you know, swings all of Bernard's like wing into this area here, keeping everything away from those guns and hitting one location. You can look at the casualties. It's pretty obvious the Swedes are doing a pretty kick-ass job with what's going on. I think they've gotten kind of lucky. Now I think I'm done with all my Swedes, actually, and all I have is the Catholics. They have a couple of units here in receive charge formation. Not this one. This one's this Spanish cav here. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything. This is a battle where I almost wish I had the little chart. I could make my own if I wanted, for the different wings and everything. It's not too chaotic yet, but I can see some potential for it here, and there are just so many different formations. Okay, and after good old Piccolomini here gets triple activation, essentially. We moved some of this right wing forward. You can see it's in make ready now. I think I already covered that. Piccolomini's side, though, basically went through not a lot, firing the artillery. Those are all actually fired at some of this. Cav avoiding the effects of the formation hit, which I think I forgot to do up here. I caught myself forgetting here, whatever. But this guy firing out his flank has mauled the cav that's kind of stuck there. Not much you can do about that as the cav leader. Now, what I got here is a check for the Cardinal Infante. Let me make a roll. Chances are he's not coming back, and then I got to look up to see if he gets replaced. A 2, which is an elimination. So let's see if we have any replacement. I don't see one. I'm going to have to look to see if there's a senior wing commander to replace him. Because, for example, if it's Duke Charles, then we bring in Worth, and that's actually an overall improvement. But anyway, he's gone, and he's worth more as an army leader. Okay, that whole concept of a senior wing commander seems to have been added after this game was made. But it's included in the errata. So Cardinal Infante is replaced by Leganes. That means I have to come up with someone to command the Spaniards. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't think there are counters for the Spanish leaders for their colonel equivalents. I'll have to look. Maybe this M de Campo or Campo is the equivalent of that. I'll see. But I'm putting this one up at this point.